ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवा गुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः 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 श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. Come on, we'll read chant from verse number 5. विविक्तदेशे च सुखासनस्थः शुचिः समग्रीव शिरः शरीरः अत्याश्रमस्थः सकलेन्द्रियाणि निरुत्य भक्त्या स्वगुरुं प्रणम्य हृत्पुण्डरीकं विरजं विशुद्धं विचिन्त्य मध्ये विशदं विशोकम् अचिन्त्यमव्यक्तमनन्तरूपम् शिवं प्रशान्तममृतं ब्रह्मयोनिम् तमादिमध्यान्तविहीनमेकम् विभुं चिदानन्दमरूपमद्भुतम् उमासहायं परमेश्वरं प्रभुम् त्रिलोचनं नीलकण्ठं प्रशान्तम् ध्यात्वा मुनिर्गच्छति भूतयोनिम् समस्तसाक्षिं तमसः परस्तात्. So in this meditation, lastly in these 2 lines, Shruti said, Dhyatva munihi gacchati bhutayonim. By meditating in this manner upon Saguna Brahma, this munihi, this person who is thinking, or this aspirant, reaches where? Bhutayonim. Bhutayonim means one who is the source of all beings, and he is the witness samasta sakshim and is beyond ignorance. So this is what it is said here. And now the same thing in a different manner is continued. It is said here that he reaches the Bhuta Yoni. Bhuta Yoni means source of all the beings, from where everyone has come. Now everyone has come. That means this source is Sarvatma. This source is the self of everyone. So now this aspirant comes to know, or he should know, that he is Sarvatma. He is the self of everyone. Because it is one source from where everything has come about. Just as from gold, all the ornaments have come. So all the ornaments are nothing but gold. Similarly here, all the beings at all the levels are nothing but one Brahman, one Ishvara. So that is being shown in verse number 8. Let us read that. Sabrahma sa Shivasendraha Soksharah Paramasvarat Saeva Vishnu Sapranah Sakalognis Chandramaha. So now what the Shruti is saying, that this Atma, this Ishvara, now see, if you have noticed, the gender has changed. So far the gender was neuter because it was talking about Brahman, but now Ishvara is being described. So the gender is Saha. Saha means masculine. Saha Brahma, he is Brahma, he is Shivaha, he is Indraha, he is Akshara. Akshara means imperishable. Then he is Parama, he is limitless, he is exalted. He is Swarat. Swarat means he is self-effulgent. Then he alone is Vishnu. He alone is Pranaha. Pranaha means vital energy, vital force. Then he is the concept or principle of time. He is fire. He is moon. So this one self, this one Ishvara has become all this. So now this aspirant should know himself as the self of all. This one Atma or Ishvara or Brahman is in the form of all this. Now here what Shruti is talking about is all the different gods. All the celestial or the cosmic deities are nothing but one principle, and that is Brahman or Ishvara. See how one is becoming all these multiple devatas. Ekam sad vipraha bahuda bhavanti. There is one God only, one Brahman only. But he alone in this creation functions with different names and forms. For the creation, different functionaries are required. Just as here in the country, we have Prime Minister, we have Home Minister, we have Defense Minister. Like that, for running this creation, different functionaries are required. Ishvara became all of them. See, all these are different, totally different. In the form of Brahma, Brahma is the one who is created. So with the help of Rajasa, Ishvara, wearing the costume of Rajas, became Brahma. Then wearing the costume of Tamas, became Shiva. Here Shiva means the one who dissolves, one who destroys everything at the end. Then he is also Indra. Indra means one who is the god of strength. He is Indra also. He is Aksharaha. Aksharaha means imperishable. Paramaha, exalted, plus self-effulgent. Then he alone is Vishnu. Vishnu is the one who preserves, one who sustains. So Vishnu, Ishvara became Vishnu with the help of Sattva. He became Brahma also and Shiva also with Rajas and Tamas. Again the vital force. Again the principle of time. Again fire. And also Chandrama means moon. So all these different functionaries is also nothing but one Ishvara. It is beautiful to see that here there is one actor in the multiple roles. Here, of course, only Ishvaras are talked about, different deities are talked about, and all these deities have power in their own field. For creation, Brahma; for sustaining, Vishnu; for the principle of light, then something else. So all these are different things. But who is there in the form of all these different deities? One Ishvara alone. So one has to know oneself as nothing but Sarvatma. This is a very, very important step. knowing oneself as Brahman is not possible, that I am Brahman. This one will not know unless one comes to know that one is Sarvatma. One is everything. Brahman is not confined to just one upadhi. This body is not the limit for Ishvara. But because of ignorance, this samskara is so entrenched that I means confined to this upadhi. One knowing this in words is not enough. One, just as Swamiji was saying, knowing that everything is prana is not enough. Narada went and realized that I am prana. I am in cow, I am in a buffalo, I am everything. Without this prana, there is nothing. Similarly, this is also continuation of meditation only. Because our sense of being confined to upadhi is very strong. So we deliberately sit down with ourselves and replace that notion of being confined to a upadhi by deliberately emphasizing and placing the knowledge that I am everything. I am everything. There is nothing in this creation where I am not. Sense of oneness, sarvatma, because otherwise this will also become an obstacle. Moment I think of someone else, it is quite possible that likes and dislikes will arise. So for the mind to abide, for mind to be free from all kinds of vikshepa, it is necessary to know that there is nothing but me everywhere. Kathopanishad says this very beautifully. It says that astityevopalabdavyaha tattva bhavena chobhayoho astityevopalabdasya tattva bhavaha prasidati. See, Shruti makes a very big point. It says that unless Brahman or Atma is recognized as is everywhere, unless it is recognized as everything around you, so first level of recognition or first level of knowledge is that I am everything. Then the second stage will come what? Asti, and then it will become Asmi. You follow? First Asti means Ishvara is. And then when you see this very well, when this knowledge becomes yours, then the second step will be possible. And what is that? Asmi. What is everywhere is nothing but me. You may think that I am Brahman, but Brahman means what? Brahman means all pervasive. It is immanent, and therefore that sense of I, which is today just here, has to spread everywhere. In each and everything, that is what is meant by the Shruti. When it says that when you recognize this Ishvara everywhere, then alone that tattva prasidati. Prasidati means then only it will grace you. Then only you will be able to know it as I am. Otherwise, there will be some misconception. In I, everybody will not be included. In Srimad Bhagavatam also, there it is said that unless and until the bhakta, he is not bhakta until he sees me in each and every grain of sand. In each and every grain of sand. What to talk about devatas? Even in such small things, when Ishvara is appreciated, then only you get the grace. Otherwise, the duality will remain in some form or the other. And duality means, as Taittiriya Upanishad says, Udaramantarang kurute atha tasya bhayam bhavati. Even if slightest duality is seen, means when you look upon other as different, then there is bound to be fear. There is bound to be likes and dislikes. So what if they are there? No. There will be a vikshepa in your mind. There won't be harmony with that tattva. And slightest of vikshepa will not allow you to abide in Brahman. So you understand why Shruti is here talking about being everything. You don't have to be that. It is an existent fact that I am Chandrama. Kathopanishad says, what is there is here. What is in Surya is here. What is in Chandrama is here. It is one. So we have to replace all the notions of duality. And for that, in the seat of meditation, you have to have this Sarvatma Bhava for each and everything. That is what even Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, in the very first few mantras, it is said that in the beginning, to show this, that how there is nothing but Brahman, Shruti talks about creation. It says, Brahma va idam agre asit. In the beginning, there was nothing but Brahman. Then how did all this come about? He became everything. He became everything. And then, when he became everything, there are different jivas now. But when the jiva comes to know tad atmanam eva avet, when the jiva comes to know the atma, by that very knowledge, tasmat tat sarvam abhavat. It says it became everything. How come? When it came to know the atma, and what is the meaning of atma? Apnoti, vyapnoti, sarvam iti atma. The very root ap says that it is everywhere. And by that very knowledge, it became everything. It was everything, but he now knows. And it is said over there that Rishi Vamadeva, there is a sage, Vamadeva, he had these samskaras of Advaita, but because of some few obstacles, kaschit pratibandha, he was born again. Means he was in the womb of the mother. At that time, these samskaras were aroused. And right from the womb, he declares. What does he declare? Aham Manuhu, Aham Suryaha, I am Manu, I am Surya, I am Chandrama. And all his shackles were severed. This is what is told to show that one has to have this knowledge. What? That everything is nothing but me. In that capital I, when you say I, everything has to be included. So, to emphasize this verse is said. Again, the same idea is continued in verse number 9. Come on, let us go there. Sa eva sarvam, no, this Anushtup Chanda. Sa eva sarvam yadbhutam yaccha bhavyam sanatanam Jnatva tam mrityu matyeti nanyah pantha vimuktaye. See again, the same idea is continued. Sa eva sarvam, he alone is everything. Now, new things are given. Their deities were talked about. Now, what is Shruti saying? Yad bhutam, yaccha bhavyam. Whatever was in the past, whatever is past, whatever will be future, and whatever is in the present, all this is nothing but Brahman. Brahman is Sanatanam. Sanatanam means eternal, timeless Brahman. Then second line, Jnatva tam jnatva. Having known this, mrityum atyeti, one crosses over death. Then says, na anyah pantha vimukte. There is no other path other than knowing that I am everything. There is no other path for liberation, for emancipation or moksha. So there is no other path, which means one has to know this. One already is everything, but we do not know. Now some other things are said. Sa eva sarvam yad bhutam. Whatever was in the past, whatever will be in the future. Now, past was also time. Past is also principle of time. Future is also principle of time. What happens? Sometimes, or generally it happens, that if our past was very good or very memorable, then we go back to the past and remember that and wish that our future will be good. Wish that future happens in the same manner. So hardly are we in the present. Hardly are we in the present, either in the past or in the future. Here Shruti says that everything, the entire principle of time is nothing but me, and I am something who transcends time. Time, take any unit of time. Take any unit of time, say an hour. Hour also has a beginning. Hour also has an end. Take a minute or an half an hour. Take, as I said, take any time. It is bound to have a beginning and end. What is begun and what is going to end is not nityam. Now, if we divide time, if we divide hour into half an hour, then into minutes, then minute into second, second into millisecond, millisecond into nanosecond, and still if you can keep on dividing, reducing, tell me, where will it resolve? It will resolve into timelessness. Time will resolve if you keep on dividing, because even a second has a beginning and an end. Still divide, still reduce second into nanosecond. Still, if you can do that, you will find that it will resolve into timelessness. Brahman has no time. No time means what? There is no concept of time, because time means beginning. Time means end. If Brahman was also subject to time, then what would be its lot? Beginning and end. So present is that every moment, minutes are coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. As its platform, the substratum of this time is what? Adhyatma of time is what? Timelessness. So time resolves into something which has no dimension. From that, this concept of time has arisen. Ishvara could make this creation with the concept of time and space. So they are also created. As in Dakshinamurti Stotram we find this, that Desha Kala Kalana Vaichitra Chitri Krutam. Dakshinamurti created all this. Vichitrata. Vichitrata means variegated creation. With the help of what? Desha Kala Kalana. With the sport of what? Desha and Kala. Imagine creation without Desha and Kala. Can you imagine? So they are also concepts and they are spread everywhere. But what is the substratum of this? Substratum of this is timelessness. From that, the time is projected. So time is also superimposed. Time is also a concept. Space is also a concept from which the entire creation is made, projected. So all of that is Brahman. But yet, the Adhishtanam is something which is abaditam. This time comes and goes. Seconds they come and go. What doesn't go? What doesn't go is Brahman. So that is Sanatanam. That is Sanatanam. Knowing this, that everything is nothing but Brahman. See how different facets are shown in the creation. Deities are shown. Creation, sustenance, dissolution is shown. And now, Bhutam, Bhavyam, this is being shown. For us, what is important? Either past or future. We are engrossed by that only. What happened in the past and how I will build my future, etc. Bhagavan says I am everywhere. Bhagavan says what is past is also me. Whatever has happened to teach me something. So don't get stuck over there, because that was also Ishvara only. Ishvara was only past. My past may not have been good to my like, but that also came to teach me something. That also came as a teacher from which I have to learn something. So this is how there is nothing but Brahman that is being shown. Knowing this, Jnatva tam mrityum atyeti. Knowing this means what? Knowing this means knowing that there is nothing but Brahman. So all my I cross over mrityu. Mrityum atyeti. What is mrityu? Mrityu is bound to come one day. But before that also mrityu is there every moment. Every moment with raga, dvesha, likes, dislikes, anukula, pratikula, hatred, jealousy, anger, passion, all this is nothing but mrityu. They come to unsettle me. Whenever such impulses arise, it is nothing but mrityu. They deny me my true nature. So here it says, only by seeing Ishvara everywhere, only by seeing self everywhere, can I cross over death. Jnatva tam mrityum atyeti. There is no other way. Na anyaha pantha vimuktaye. There is no other way to cross over death. So this perception has to come in our life. And this perception doesn't come unless we work upon it. Unless we sit back. Of course, we listen. We do mananam, shravanam, mananam, and to erase all the notions which are against this truth. All the concepts or ideas which do not stand the test of this truth have to be checked out. All of them. Moment I dislike someone, moment I hate you, I cannot stand, I just cannot stand him. So many such things during the day. My life, when we examine our thoughts, we find all these things are there. But in that, I am hating myself. So Lord Krishna says, Atmaupamyena sarvatra samam pashyati Arjuna. Lord Krishna says that when you put yourself, give the upama, of Atma when you are looking at the world. When you supposing hate someone, put yourself in that position. Put yourself in that person's place and then see whether you like him or hate him. Atmaupamyena samam pashyati Arjuna. See samata, see sameness. Progress in life is to see this sama. Sama is there, but we don't see it. We divide, we disintegrate, we bifurcate. Constantly we do this. So our third eye has to open. Trilochanam, which means eye of knowledge. We have to open that. Then only we'll be able to see this samata. As Lord Krishna says, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini cha Shuni Chaiva Shvapake Panditaha Samadarshinaha. Pandita means wise man. What do they see? In the disparity. What kind of glaring disparity? What? Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane. There is a Brahmana who is all equipped, who is all full with Vidya and Vinaya, knowledge and everything. In him, then there is a dog eater, Shuni Chaiva. Then there is this Swapaka, one who eats that. In an elephant, in a cow, in a chant, all these different people, where at one place there is sattva, other rajas, other tamas. This picture is there before you. But Pandita is one. He is also seeing this. Drashti is there of all this. Pratiti is there of all this. All different things he is seeing. But Pandita doesn't stop at the costume. He doesn't stop at the costume, but he can see who is there behind that, who is manifesting through this costume. If we can see that, then the name and form and function and behavior will not matter. Today, every small thing matters. Every small thing matters to us. How people behaved, how did they talk, whether they respected me or not, insulted me, this, that, so many things, did not treat me well. Everything matters and everything gathers over here. And then when we sit for meditation, other than Brahman, these all things come up. We think of that only. Because while doing Vyavhara, we had kept it aside. The demands of Vyavhara did not allow us to think, but it was always there in the background. But moment we sit down, it attracts our attention. Why did mother-in-law tell me this? Now she has to retire. And why is she telling me all this? Things like that. In the office, boss may say, siblings may, anything, husband, wife, everywhere. Something or the other is bound to happen in the Vyavhara. World is nothing but pairs of opposites. Dvandva is world. This is going to happen. Shita, Ushna, Mana, Apmana. Constantly. Bhagavan says, Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkha daha. The contact of the sense organs with the sense objects is bound to create what? Sukha dukkha daha. They will result in sukha or dukkha, shita, ushna, mana, apmana. Something or the other. Today people will respect you, tomorrow same people. No, nothing. Nothing worth talking about. Same people. It's bound to happen. World is nothing but this. Ram, who are we? Lord Rama also. He also had to face the criticism. Who are we? Sita ji. Nobody more pure than her. Epitome of purity. But still. And if this is going to impact us, then Brahman is far away. So, constantly, This is nothing but me. This is nothing but Ishvara. Just as in this one body, all the limbs, all the organs, whether head or toe, everything is just one. Toe may be insignificant compared to the head and brain, but still it is me. It's still me. There is sense of oneness. Similarly, in this macrocosm, also this sense of oneness. Unless you see that, no mukti. Then, again same idea is repeated in verse number 10. Sarvabhutasthamaatmanam sarvabhutani chatmani sampashyan brahma paramam yati nanyena hetuna. Again, as I said, Nikhil Sarva Bhutastham Atmanam. Sarva Bhutastham, in all the bhutas, in all the beings is what? Atmanam. When you see someone, anything, whether an ant or mosquito or cow, or even we cannot see that corona, but even in that, nothing but what? Atma. The one that is here is there. Same Atma. Only the Vesha is different. Sarva Bhutastham Atmanam. When you look at others, see yourself. And when you are with yourself, then what? Sarva Bhutani cha Atmani. In Atma, all the beings. Understood? When you are with the world, transacting with them, interacting with them, then Sarva Bhutastham Atmanam. I am in all of them, in all the beings. When you are with yourself, then what? Sarva Bhutani Atmani. All of them are in me. So, all the time, there is nothing but consciousness. Nothing but consciousness. As Swamiji says, consciousness is all pervasive. There may be distance between this body and that body, this object and me. But is there any distance between consciousness and this object? There is distance between this upadhi and this object and that object. But is there distance between consciousness and this upadhi and even the star? Why? Because in consciousness is everything. Because of consciousness is everything. You follow what I am saying? Consciousness is there in and out. Sabhakya bhyantaraha. It is inside as well as outside. This inside and outside are the names with reference to the body. That out and in does not belong to consciousness, and I am that. I am what? I am consciousness in which is everything. So, Sarva Bhutastham Atmanam Sarva Bhutani cha Atmani. Sampashyan. When this is understood very well, this we cannot see with the eyes, but this has to be seen with the mind's eye. Sampashyan Brahma Paramam Yati. One who sees Brahman in this way reaches Brahman, which means comes to have steady knowledge of Brahman. Na anyena hetuna. Not by any other means. See, all along, what is Shruti talking about? Knowing, seeing, not becoming, not reaching, not doing, not transforming. Nothing but seeing, seeing, seeing. Seeing means see, and knowledge does what? It dispels ignorance. Knowledge doesn't create anything. It merely dispels ignorance. So when you have the right knowledge, you can see things as they are. And what is there? Nothing but Ishvara, nothing but Brahman, nothing but consciousness. There is nothing like consciousness plus something. Just consciousness, just Brahman. Ekam eva advitiyam. Moment we deviate from this, there is samsara. Samsara is not that I have wife and children and husband and I am working. No, this is not samsara. What is samsara? Samsara is seeing different from what the Shruti is saying. That is samsara, because that creates problem. That is why it is said, that I am the solution and I am the problem. Which I is the problem? Which has notions about reality. And which I is the solution? Which has clarity about reality. One has to know the reality, the fundamental truth as it is. So, that is why it is said, Yati na anyena hetuna, not by any other means, because truth is truth. If you know it otherwise, it is your problem. They tell us the story of this lion cub, This lion cub, the lioness, gave birth to this cub and died. So this lion cub was lying all alone, deserted. Then a shepherd was passing by and it saw. So it took the lion cub in its shelter, and now the cub is raising with other lambs also. The shepherd has lambs and other animals. Along with them, this is also growing. But because of the company, this lion looks upon himself as lamb and started making noise also of that kind. Then one day, when all those lambs, etc., have gone for grazing, this one also went, and then there is a lion behind. A real lion came. And then when those lambs came to know, they started running, fleeing away. Along with them, this lion cub also ran. That lions were seeing, what is this? They are running away, I can understand. But this fellow, why is he running away? So he today forgot about his prey. He caught hold of this one and took him. Why did you run away? Naturally you will kill me, so I will run away. He says, you know who you are? Took him to the pool of water. And they says, look inside. He looked inside. And then he said, look at me. He looked at the lion. And then they says, now do you know who you are? Yes, we look similar. We are similar. Then the lion roared. And then he said, you also do. This fellow also could do it. He also roared. And now he came to know what? Identity. He came to know that my being a lamb was just a notion. Through and through I am nothing but lion. Similarly, only when you come to know this, you are free. This much knowledge is waiting for you for moksha. No other thing. That I am bound is a notion. That I am mortal is a notion. That I am limited is a notion. For moksha, what should we do? For moksha, we don't have to do anything but remove this notion. Just remove. But just by removing will become. You already are. Where is the question of becoming? What is hampering, What is the obstacle is attachment with this. That I'm this much only. That is stopping me. So first we have to get rid of, and that is the biggest hurdle in this hurdle race. That is the biggest thing. That I am everything. My mother is mine, I can understand, but that is mine. My children, mine. But We don't like the children of the slum dwellers. Automatically, when we see them, having mercy for them is one thing, donating for them is another. All this is fine. But we don't have that love for them. Immediately a distance is created. You just see how these things are deeply rooted. Not good. Don't allow them to come in. No less than Adi Shankaracharya ji. You must have heard about this. That once when he was passing from the streets of Kashi, everybody knows this. That time, early morning he is going to the temple of Vishwanatha. And he has taken the kamandalu, filled it up with the water of Ganges, and is going to do Abhisheka. At 4 o'clock with his students he is going. And then it is the early morning, maybe 3:30 or something, time of dawn. So it's not fully lighted. At that, in the narrow streets of that time, this corridor was not there. It is recent thing. Then he came across a very haughty and hugely built person, and along with him are dogs, etc. So automatically, without thinking, the samskaras, he's a Brahmin going to the temple. So immediately what he happened to utter, Gacha, 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 go away. But he is across a great person, nothing less than Lord Shiva. So what did that person, Chandala, say? Very quietly and very humbly he said, Annamayad Annamayam Athava Chaitanyam eva Chaitanyat Duri Kartim Vanchasi Kim Bruhi Gacha Gacha iti Dvijavara. He said, Dvijavara, O twice born, when you are saying that Gacha Gacha, go away, that time what are you asking? I mean, what are you asking something to get away from? Annamayad Annamayam, see, he is pointing similarity, sameness of two levels. First, Annamayam, when you are asking me to go away, which means, are you asking this body made of annam, this package made of annam, to go away from this package made of annam? This is also annam. This is all. How is it different? How is it different? Tell me. Or higher than that. Chaitanyameva Chaitanyat. Are you asking consciousness that I am? Consciousness in this form? Consciousness in that form? Are you asking one consciousness to go away from another? What are you telling, O Dvijavara, twice born? Moment he heard this, Bhashyakara was awake. Not that he was sleeping, but immediately he fell flat. He fell flat. Sakshat, Sashtanga Pranama. He says, one who knows this, one who knows this sameness, this same consciousness being everywhere, is my Guru. No matter Chandalostu Satu Dvijosti Guruhu iti esha manisha mama. This is my strong conviction that whoever has this knowledge, whoever has this knowledge, it is this knowledge which makes them Guru. Not what Vesha, not what language, not what gender, nothing of this. But what? This knowledge. What knowledge? There is nothing but this consciousness. Not that it is said that Lord Shiva became Shankaracharya, Lord Shiva became Chandala, everything is play of Lord Shiva only for the benefit of the society. But pointing out to what? That understanding conscious transcendent is one thing. But before that you have to cross this what? Immanent, that he is everywhere. Other than that, no mukti. Don't think that I will sit and meditate upon Brahman and without seeing Atma everywhere. My vyavhara may remain whatever it is. In vyavhara I may shout, I may screen, I may fight, I may hate, I may embrace, I may do, and then still I will go to Brahman. Forget it. Forget it. Not possible. Why? Because all this in Vyavhara, who is there? Brahman. Through the corridors of enmity, through the corridors of differences, Bheda, you cannot reach Abheda. You cannot know Advitiya. You cannot know. So this is a step which you cannot bypass. I will bypass. This is difficult, no? Sitting and thinking of Brahman, it is easy. That is also not easy. It will never prasidati. It will never bless you. It will never bless you. So, Shruti is na yati na anyena hetuna. Other than seeing this, there is no other path. Then, further. Now, having talked about this Sarvatma, now Shruti recognizes that still for an Uttama Adhikari, maybe Mananam is not required. For a student like Nachiketa, moment it is told what is different from what is beyond dharma, what is beyond adharma, what is beyond death and all, he comes to know. Little by little, just few words he will know. But for most people, Mananam is also required. Mananam means deliberation. Deliberation upon vichara. Vichara upon the statements of Shruti. And one has to seriously sit back and think. While Shravanam, with the help of the teacher, we understand everything. Everything is very hunky-dory. But when you go back, doubts may arise. And the same, I am not able to maintain the same drishti. So what is necessary is that one has to do mananam, study this. But study in the lines of Shruti Matas Tarkonu Sandhiyatam. Bhashyakara says, think in the lines of Shruti. Mananam is nothing but extended Shravanam. Extension of Shravanam is Mananam. Okay. So now in few verses, Shruti is doing Mananam. Okay. We will read verse number 11. Atmanamaranim krutva Pranavam chottararanим Jnana nirmartanabhyasat Pasham dahati panditah. See, what does a pandita do? Pandita means one who has knowledge or is pursuing knowledge. What does he do? See, now here a beautiful metaphor is given. Metaphor of something which Vedic students were familiar with. They used to do yajna every day. They were familiar with that. And to tell you, in those days, even now, here in this ashram also, when big yajnas are done, then I have seen when the consecration of the temple was going on, that when they light the fire of the yajna, of the altar, fire altar, what do they? They don't light it with the matchstick. That is supposed to be impure. Not with matchstick. But there are two wooden blocks. Hemispherical hollow. Which there is a square wooden block which is hollow in the middle. One such block. And there is another such block. So one block is kept down. Another block, wooden block, is kept above. And there is both of them are hollow inside, in the middle. Then a rod is kept in between. And then with the rope, that rod is churned. So what this blocks, there is friction in between them. In that friction, then the fire is generated. And a wooden a piece of cotton is also kept there. Moment that because of the friction, when the sparks are there, that wood piece of cloth will catch fire. They pick up that, and with that, the fire in the altar is lighted. That is how they used to light the fire. Here also. Now teacher is giving us this metaphor. Here also we need the fire of knowledge. For that, what are we supposed to do for Mananam? Atmanam aranim kritva. Take Atma. Atma means Jivatma, Ahankara. Ahankara. Take your mind. Make it the lower block, lower wooden block. Put it in that place. Above that, Pranavam cha Uttararanim. Pranava is the name of Brahman. And Pranava means Omkara. Omkara name is Pranava. And this name, Pranava, Tasya Vachakaha Pranavaha. This name is, Brahman loves this name very, very much. Everybody has their own pet names. Pet names because others call you with those names. And that, you like it. So here Brahman's pet name is what? Pranava, Omkara. So put Brahman, in short, put Brahman as the upper block, upper wooden block. So Atma, Jivatma, that is ego, Ahankara, which has all kinds of complexes and ignorance, that is kept down. Above is kept Brahman. And then, now, Nirmarthanam, churning has to go on. Nirmarthana Bhyasad, do the churning. Who will do the churning? Who will do? Who will do? Yes, there the Pandita, Ritvika does it. Here who will do? Intellect. Our own intellect. With our own mind, the churning has to happen. The rod is the intellect. And how will you do the churning? There with the rope, you are pulling it. The rod is pulled with the rope. Here, how will you do the churning? With the help of the rope in the form of the statements of Upanishad. So, truth is kept in mind. During Shravanam you have heard Aham Brahmasmi. He alone is everything. All this you have heard. Put that in your intellect. And now do the churning. Means do mananam. And then ask the ego, who are you? You who are claiming everything, I did this, I am that. Who are you actually? Ahamayam kuto bhavati. As Raman Maharshi says, ask your intellect. Ahamayam kuto bhavati. Who are you? All the time you are claiming. You are an imposter. You have taken the place of Atma. So face it squarely. Because Maya will remain as long as you do not do inquiry. Unless you inquire, Maya enjoys. But moment you start inquiring, who are you? As Swamiji says, Vicharam na sahate Maya. Maya will not be able to face the inquiry. Just as all this, these culprits, they are taken to that room, and then all this police, and they all gruel him. They ask from all sides, torture him, gruel him. Then he will say, who I am. Similarly here, the ego has occupied the place of Atma. I am someone, something. Ask, who are you? Ahamayam kuto bhavati chinvatah. When you think like this, think means not on your own, with the help of Shruti. Shruti says, I am Brahman. Then who are you? I am this person, so and so. Self-made man. This man, that man. Can the body be Atma? Now the churning, mathanam is going on. Can the body be Atma? Now, if the body is Atma, then body has birth and death. That which has beginning and end cannot be Atma. Is mind Atma? Again, that which has beginning and end, plus that which is changing every moment. In the morning he says, I am this. In the office he says, I am this. Ganta, Manta. So every moment Ahankara is changing its faces. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupta. So that which changes cannot be Atma. That which is Jadam cannot be Atma. That which has beginning cannot be Atma. That which has an end cannot be Atma. What can be? All this is incidental. Agantuka, coming and going. What can be Atma? Atma is something which is ever there, never changing, never growing, ever the same, ever the same. In this may scrutinize each and every notion. Woman, can Atma be woman? Can Atma be man? Can Atma be old one? Can Atma be unhappy? In this manner, this is just an example. Just an example. We have to do this with all our notions. And then, when you do this for a length of time, what will happen? All the notions will get burned by the fire of knowledge. Aham Brahmasmi. So all the agantuka part, all the notions, ahankara, there is not an entity called ahankara. There is I, yes. Understand? There is I, yes. Consciousness is yes. Body, yes. But no ahankara. Ahankara is combination of what? Consciousness and inert. Chit, jada, granthi. Here that which is consciousness is Atma. All this is Jadam, that is Anatma. But Ahankara is what? Ahankara is combination of these two. There is no such thing which Ishvara has made. This is our creation. Ahankara is not Ishvara Shrushti. So in this manner, when you really focus the inquiry upon it, then the ahankara will go. All the notions will go. Ai patatyaham nija vicharanam. When you think like this on Atma, on the self, the ahankara and its effects will go. But this has to be done for a long time. So mananam. That is why it is said, Pasham dahati panditaha. Pandita, an intelligent person, by subjecting all his notions to this kind of inquiry, burns all the notions which are born of ignorance. This has to be done. So this is what is said in this verse. Then, now again a question has arisen. We will do this tomorrow, but one question has arisen. That how can Asanga, Atma, Nirgun, Nirakara, Niravayava, if you say that is the reality, how did he become this? How did he become Jivatma? And why is he looking upon himself as an individual and calling himself as Jagrata, calling himself as Swapnas the dreamer, calling himself as Shushuptaha? How come? So that will be discussed in verse number 12, 13, 14, which we will do tomorrow. Om Purnamataః Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanta Shanta Shantihi. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanta Shanta Shantihi. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.